personally, I'm glad I never even went as far as I had potential to go into the industry. I'm glad I did never do that because it's it could wipe you out, man. It could wipe you out clean, soul wise. You lose yourself in that shit. I don't know how people do it.
Man.
But let's get back into this joint, man. Let's see.
Well, let's get it. Yeah, this is gonna get interesting. I'm curious.
Oh yeah.
Because so much stuff has changed in Hollywood that you don't really see that anymore. But in the early 2000s, it was like character breakdown, white male, Tom Cruise type, white shoes, white speech, clear and white teeth, white. But now they don't really do that anymore. But there's been, I mean, a lot of movies that were written for white actors that, like I said, once I took the meeting with the director, all this shit, I've done 100 movies, I can act. Now it's about if we get along. Because I ain't showing up to work every day if you annoying the fuck out of me. I'd rather just not do the movie because I'm going to slap the shit out you.
Yeah, he making good money. You turning down movie roles?
For real.
Because you upset at your coworkers?
Yeah,
when I was working at Pizza Hut, I had coworkers I didn't like either. But I still had to go get that money from Pizza Hut. You privileged when you can just choose to not take the job because you don't like your coworkers. You in a good spot.
I'm saying.
You really had to Google me, bro. Standard, like, don't nigga Google me. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like you're at that. But all the roles you do, what was the hardest? Cause like we've had other actors on, and I'm like to challenge that. I think I'm sneaking on brother to brother.
Perry? Perry?
Cause you kissed a man. Like now I've heard you say in the past, like some people told you that would kill your career to be gay. Like just channeling those roles, but just getting in that mind frame, that mindset of doing roles that really ain't you.
Right.
You was married, got 4 sons, but now you kissing a man, like channeling that. You kissed a man.
He's different.
I was worried about that.
Hey, I was worried about him because he.
Yo, I can't even trust that laugh. That laugh, yo, my man's. And he's an actor, so you don't know if he's really being for real. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but we almost there. Let's go.
He had no facial hair, and I don't really feel like you can trust a black man with no facial hair.
You know what's interesting is at the beginning of this, he talked about how progressive Hollywood is and how far along it's come in terms of becoming more progressive. And I've always just found it weird that you'll see some female actresses complaining about how much they get paid and their gender wage gap. But they're in like one of the most progressive industries in the world, and that is Hollywood, and they're multimillionaires. And you're like, at what point will you ever be happy in your life? I mean, you get paid tens of millions of dollars in a privileged country like America to act in movies. I mean, I don't think you're the one that should be talking about privilege here. But yeah, I just always thought that was very interesting that you're in one of the most privileged institutions in the world, or one of the most progressive institutions in the world, in one of the most privileged spots, in one of the most privileged careers in the world, getting paid more than most people in the world, still talking about how, you're oppressed or there's unequal pay or whatever it may be. It's funny to me.
I grew that shit right back.
That little thin one.
Hey, I don't like that, though.
So my first job when I was at Juilliard, there was this guy named Michael Wynn. He was a writer. And we workshopped and did a play about Tupac called Up Against the Wind. So I played Tupac 3 times. On stage, off Broadway, and in the movie, right? So the interesting thing was Michael Wynn wrote this play called Up Against the Wind. We did it at school. This guy, Rodney Evans, came to see it. He was doing this movie. He wanted me to play Perry's best friend, who was the poet. And I was like, nah, Perry's the best role. Like, I don't give a f that he's gay. Like, it's the best role. He's like, well, you can't play gay. I said, why? He's like, because you're not gay. I was like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I'm an actor. We acted. Right? So after a lot of back and forth, he gave me the role. Mostly because he couldn't find anybody else who can act. So, got the role.
That's the only nigga laughing at that joke right there.
Yeah, wow. I caught that. Yo,
I didn't hear too many people laughing with him.
Hold on. I just caught that, dog.
Yeah, man. Not too many people was laughing with him on that one.
No
I don't
one
think that's
laughed.
funny. Nah. You talking to all men there, all athletes too. What do you think? What? That just sounds crazy. But let's keep going.
did the movie, finished the movie, went off to do 8 Mile. So that was literally my first movie. But I did it for a specific reason. Growing up in the South in the 90s and 80s, you grow up homophobic, sexist, and racist. And we talking about the 80s and the 90s. That's just a fact.
Hey, if you can see
Yo, first off, this dummy just said, and no disrespect, but at the same time, yeah, fuck that, because everybody in the South was not homophobic. All right?
So when I got to school,
They're assuming everybody. No, that's not an everybody thing. It was just a standard of practice where more people were more conservative than they were liberal. So they weren't. It was frowned down upon, but it wasn't something that was like, like we had a campaign. Everybody hate gays. It was none of that. None of that was going on. We know that, right? But he put a certain stigma and painted it with a whole bunch of. You heard what he said? Not only he said sexist, right?
He said sexist, homophobic, and.
Come on, man. Wasn't there a black dynamic family at one point in time in America? So you telling me it existed at that time too? Nah, man. See, we've been conditioned. That's the whole reason why he's saying that. He's saying it because it's going past the conditioned people ears. Like, yeah, we were like that. Now we're not no longer. Great. Nah, that's not how it's supposed to be.
That's not how it is.
There's more context to this right now.
Yeah, it's deeper than that.
Yep. All right, let's get back to it.
my roommate was gay. Like, I didn't know how to deal with that. Like, my brother's gay.
Yeah, he's not helping the allegations here. He's talking about his roommates, his brother, everybody around him. You're not beating the allegations right now, brother.
Deal with that. So being a man, I use my art to better myself. I played Perry so that I could understand my brother better. So I could understand my friends better. Going to art school, a bunch of my friends were gay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when I was a kid, we had a record label. We had the first gay rapper.
But see, I got a brother, too. And when I want to get to know more about my brother or understand my brother more, we get on his pontoon and go on the Mississippi River and have a couple brewskis. I'm not getting the correlation here between kissing a man and understanding your brother because he's gay. I don't need to go that far to understand no other person in the world. I don't know what it is. I think that's a part of masculinity, though, having unwavering boundaries.
Unwavering boundaries.
And that's just one of my boundaries right there. I'm not crossing that boundary for nobody. I don't care if it means to understand somebody. I don't care if somebody holding me at knife point. You better be willing to die for it, because I certainly am.
Facts.
Come on, there we go. And like my uncle say, and ain't a whole lot to that.
Nah, bro. I'm willing to die for mines, man.
That's it. That's it.
Point blank, end of story.
That's it.
Ain't no way in Hell's Kitchen you gonna get me to want to do anything remotely close like that, even if my brother was on switching on that side. My brother is not like that. My actual real brother is not. He's a married man with family. But if I had a brother that was like that and I act, ain't no goddamn way I'm taking up the road just to be curious, because that means you was curious of doing that. I mean, you was curious.
That just doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
And then you covered it up with, well, I'm an actor. Well, I'm supposed to act. Yeah, you're supposed to act. But damn, what means you don't got no morals? Like, come on, bro. I'm sorry, but that's how they break a lot of these actors in. You got to kiss somebody or do the wild thing, and then after that, you get these. You become a breakout star. You get all the roles, but they got to get that up out of you first, because that's Hollywood. Hollywood is Hollywood. They do that. They got to get that out of you first. You got to give up something for something. You ain't just, oh yeah, Anthony Mackie, he's a great actor. Let's just pick him. No, there's a lot of goddamn actors that they could pick over Anthony Mackie, believe it or not. But it's how much you willing to give up. That's how politics work, right?
Right.
All right, let's get back into it.
That's a fact.
It ain't gonna go as smooth as you think it is.
You was gonna say something?
No. You just caught me in a thought. That's a fact.
Yeah, man.
There's no way. I don't understand the correlation here, but we can keep going and see what he say.
You make good music, nobody care. You know, Big Frida is famous.
Here for sure.
For sure. You know what I mean? So the idea of being gay in New Orleans has always not only been supported, but it's been a part of the culture.
Oh, that's a contradiction, brother. He literally
He
just
caught
started
him.
this
He
whole
caught him.
segment off by saying, growing up in the 80s and the 90s, everybody was homophobic and racist and blah, blah, blah. But now he's saying it's always been accepted.
You got caught up.
It was early in your career you needed the job. That's what it sounds like to me, brother. And I don't care about what the job is, what the title is, or how much they paying for the job. That's a line I'm not willing to cross, me personally.
Me,
Facts.
I needed to figure
Facts.
out what was my holdup, what was my insecurity about that. And once I played that role, I realized everybody deserves to be loved.
Oh, man.
It's not my job
There
to
you
say
go.
who you love or who should love you. If you loved, I'm happy for it. That don't mean I'm gay. You know, so Perry was more so a statement piece for me with the love and admiration for my brother, with the appreciation and respect of my friends for that culture. It really put me in a position where I think it made me a better actor.
You know how you show appreciation for the culture? Let a gay man play the gay man role. Ain't that what people be saying? If it's a black role, you want the black person to play the black people role?
Yeah.
If it's a marginalized group, you want them to fill in the spots for those roles, right? If you want to celebrate the gay community, you go let them play in the movie and be gay in the movie, brother. You ain't that don't sound like it's adding up to me.
Because I had to go so far out the box. I had to go to the furthest spectrum away from myself to play.
It's funny because I actually agree with pretty much everything that he was saying, especially on the masculinity part. Now, on the back end, when they challenged him a little bit and said, well, you're a part of the problem a little bit because you out here playing LGBTQ roles and you supposed to be Captain America. It don't look good on the old resume. I completely understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think masculinity is about having unwavering boundaries for things that you're willing to do and things you're not willing to do. And that's just something that I personally wouldn't be willing to do. I don't know where his boundaries lie. I'm not an actor, and I can't relate to that situation at all. If I want to get to know my brother, we go have brewskis. I'm not finna have to kiss no man to understand nobody else's circumstance. I have LGBTQ people in my family. You will not be seeing me go kiss no other man to understand their circumstances. That's just not how I live my life. But yeah, I'm happy that they called him out on the contradiction to talk about masculinity and then bring up that point too. I think it shows consistency on their platform, and I think it was an enjoyable conversation. He may have articulated it in a way where it makes sense to him, but to me it just sounds like you're justifying something that you did when you was in a desperate time and you wanted the role as an actor. Sound like that was your first movie. You hadn't had a movie yet. It was the best role that you could go for, and you was willing to do anything to get that role. That's what it sounded like to me.
What you think, bro?
Man, I got to second that.
I got to second that too, man.
I got to second that because when you take what he said, and now I'm big on body language now.
Mm-hmm. I was watching his body language too.
Now,
I was
if
saying.
you go back, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go, just play 20 seconds when he was talking about masculinity, and play 20 seconds when he was talking about that stuff.
Masculinity.
Yeah, just go back when he was cooking, right? When we were saying he was cooking, just go back and watch his posture and his stature.
Where we at? Like right here?
Martial art because violence is the
Oh, this one
underlying
you talking about
principle that
martial
you have.
arts.
And you like, could bust your ass. And
Right? You talking about that scene?
You
You,
know what I
talking
mean?
over here?
Yeah, somewhere, just anywhere, like right here.
That's in Kenya. And
The
I was walking
comfortability.
around, I'm like, yeah,
Relax.
could bust your ass, boy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You go to Europe,
Tight
and they're
ass pants.
yeah, tight ass pants. Motherfucker, when good, boy, you better lotion your ankle. Like you feel it when you go to Europe. Even when you like, I was just in Kenya, and I was walking
Yeah.
around. I'm like, yeah. Dude was like, you ain't from here. Like, nah.
At
Like,
all.
yeah, I could tell. I know you can. I could tell I ain't from here. You know what I mean? It's just that American male.
I'm already feeling it. Still
Like
on
you
my
see how
action.
comfortable and relaxed he is?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's me.
Masculinity.
me.
It's
It's
something
funny because I've
But when you go up, it's like he was a little uncomfortable. A little bit. That's to me. That's
When he
how
was talking, when he was talking about the masculine part, him being masculine. You talking about that part?
No, when they challenged him, when they was talking about him playing in that role,
Oh yeah,
he
yeah,
got
yeah,
real
yeah, yeah, yeah,
uncomfortable
yeah, yeah, yeah,
compared
yeah.
to there.
No
Yeah, he
facial
was
hair.
very
I don't really feel
confident
like you
then.
can trust a black man with no facial hair.
But when he started
Institutions in
talking
the world.
here,
You can see
Broadway
him.
and in the movie,
right here, his head
So-
his head is more downward. You know,
Yeah,
he's
he
talking.
keep looking outside.
You're looking at. They always say when you look to your left. I think it's when you look to your left or your right, either one. Look either way or something like that. That means you're lying or you're making something up in your head. He looks more bothered when he has to answer these questions. Like he doesn't look confident. He looks like he's trying to explain
It's
himself.
been accepted.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
You know, like he's really
Instead
trying
of
to make.
speaking his truth.
Yeah, you know,
And maybe
You
that's
make
his
good
way.
music. Nobody care.
huh?
I said maybe that's his way. I don't know.
I mean, it probably is, you know. But here's the thing, right? And going back to what I was saying before, with the gender war, right? This is part of the problem right here for me. You understand? When we talk about this is part of the problem because when you talk about the gender war, you're talking about a situation that can affect a whole nation of people. You understand? Like it affects our people way more than any other group of people in America. It affects our people mostly because we've been ruled by a matriarch system. You know, it's only a single family household. Most times the child is with the mother. And there's no father, so there's no order. So if there's no order, like we said before, there's disarray. And because we have that, it breeds more problems in our community. And because that's happening, and we're under a matriarch system, a lot of our young men are emotional creatures. They're running around mad emotional. They're willing to pop off real fast because they don't have no control, which is where a man comes in at to teach you control, teach you how to have balance, and teach you how to respect yourself so other men could respect you. You understand? And then most importantly, women respect you because at some point in time, you're going to have your own kingdom. And once you have your own kingdom, which is, you know, hence your own home, you want to have an establishment where you are respected. You understand?
Sorry.
And it doesn't mean that the woman doesn't deserve respect. Obviously, women deserve their respect. But we speak a different language when it comes to women, especially this is why there's a war, because women are understanding men's language and men are starting to speak now. There was a time, right? And you can look this up in the early 90s, late 80s, where you had femininity at the core height of it, because it started off, I believe, in like the 60s, I want to say. You know, the whole movement that they had, the feminist movement. And that came in around the time when they had the Civil Rights Bill passed. So it was really hot at that time. And when you had the whole welfare system going on, that even kind of, you know, made it even more intensified. Back then, it was all about F men, you know what I'm saying? You're strong, you can do this on your own, you don't need no man. And it was promoted to our people as independency. You don't need to depend on nobody. When in actuality, you know, you want to have a sense of independency as a person. But you're supposed to have some kind of dependency on each other, meaning that you're supposed to be educated on how to conduct yourself properly in order to receive the best result in a relationship from your parents. And that wasn't given. It was a half tool because it was just the matriarch system. So when you have the matriarch system only and really not that much patriarch, because first of all, men are not in the homes, and a lot of men grew up uneducated. And we could play, and what we've been doing all this time is playing the back and forth, pointing the fingers. But now we understand the reality. The reality is black men in the community of our people don't have no control. We're not in control of our nation. Every other nation, their men are in control of their nation. But black men, we don't have that kind of opportunity. And the reason why is because it's a big disarray with the matriarch system in play over the patriarch in our community. So when you have that being pushed to you in the 80s and the 90s, King, think about this, right? We're into the 90s and the 80s, red hot, talking about this independence, independence. Just keep pushing it out in the music and the movies, this, that, and the other. What you think that was going to do to the 2000 and 2010s and 2020s?
It manifested.
Exactly. So now
And when it did,
we see the manifestation of matriarch system, meaning there's no order or discipline. Not even for the women, because we're talking about men. But remember, they had TV shows like Ricky Lake and all these other little TV shows that was talking about men are trash, men are this, men are that, and men ain't shit, they ain't no good, they're dogs, they're this, that, and happy wife, happy life. They were promoting that all day long. Meanwhile, men were holding themselves accountable at the same time, because they were being blamed for not holding themselves accountable. You're not holding yourself accountable because you're not in the household, blah, 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 right? But women were never holding themselves accountable during that time. They didn't have any accountability. And anytime you were to give them accountability, shout out to Sister Sazad Ali, what would happen is you would get a big pushback because the sisterhood feel like it's under attack. And no, no women can do wrong. Believe all women. I mean, you had some real women out there that was doing super wrong, but it was believe all women at the time because we were taught that a woman can raise a man to be a man. If a father is not there, she could do everything a man can do. That is not true. I'm here to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And that was being pumped into our community all day long, bro. In the music, all day long. In the culture itself, it was all day long. The gender war started off specifically for that reason. And it's to emasculate men. Our men are getting emasculated. And once you can emasculate, you can conquer. That is a known fact. You could read this.
Down.
So if you have our men emasculated, we're not together, we don't have no control over our household, no control over our kingdom, then we are easily ruled, and we will always be easily ruled because we are raised with emotions more than logic. And we are supposed to be more logic than emotional. That's just the facts.
Right.
You understand? It's not our job to carry more emotions. It is our women's job to carry more emotions. They contain something we call life. And you need it. And you need it for that. You guys, excuse me, my camera just said, pop. As soon as I said life, that just said, yup, life. Shout out to the movie Life. Anyway.
Oh, go.
Yeah, man. So my microphone fell. But yeah, it's one of those cases, right? That when you start talking, I'll bring it back. But yeah, that's one of them cases where you have to pay attention to the gravity of the situation. Because it's more deeper than people think it is. This has been a system that has been broken for a very long time, and that's why there's a gender war. So what's your thoughts?
Man, I agree. And the fact that a lot of people out here saying they don't need men and all of these things. Man, as soon as trouble happens, as soon as an alarming event or something catastrophic, if something were to happen, you already know where people gonna look first.
Hell yeah. Listen.
You already know.
We had a blackout the other day. I was on the road driving, going somewhere, right? My wife was home and stuff, and she was chilling. It was raining. It was raining really bad. I had to go take my daughter back to college. I'm driving up there. It's storming. It's a crazy storm. It was Sunday. And I'm driving. I'm getting through this storm. Ja, get me through this storm, boy. Get me through this one, because this shit looks scary. Right? I'm pushing through. Lights went out. Boop. Back home. Wife called me up quick, boy. The lights are out. What do I do? You know what I'm saying? I had to calm her down. Listen, you go flashlight, You know where the flashlights be at. You know what it is at, because everything, you know, I had to calm her down. And it's not that she don't know how to do it, but the first thing she's thinking is her security. And who is that?
She should.
You know what I'm saying? So that as soon as I told her where to go, the light came right back on, and I was like, that's probably the generator or whatever. So you knew it's relaxing things, you know.
No, and look though, that's how it is supposed to be. The queen, like it's no power surge. It's no I think I'm better than you. That's how women were designed. That's how men were designed. And now we have this big flex going on, and everyone want to, like you said, now we're in the pushback phase. The women now, unfortunately, think that they can uphold and take those things that we were put here to do. Like, let us do our job.
Yeah, no. This is why I say accountability needs to be held on their part, and I think right now you're seeing more of that. You're seeing more accountability being held on the part on women. Like men are starting to hold women accountable because we did that for a long time with each other. We went through the whole 90s and 2000s Big Brother programs. We had a Million Man March. We had all kinds of stuff where it was all about men getting themselves together, understanding that they're in a system and the system is designed a certain way. And you need to know how to survive in the system. So men had to start voicing themselves and voicing something that they don't carry a whole lot of. And that's feelings. We were taught to not feel. Remember? When you bust your knee and you bleeding, they like, yo, cover that up, put something on there and get back on there and start running. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're taught to be tough for a reason. You know what I mean? So that is a part of you that has been removed because you don't got a man there to tell you, hey, why are you crying? Stop that crying. Toughen up. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to carry that much emotions on that level. You're supposed to feel the pain, yes, because you got hurt. But you're not supposed to carry it. You understand? And we weren't taught that because we didn't get that fatherly, installation on a consistent basis to make us be able to hold our emotions and not be so violent. Because violence comes from emotions. You understand? And that's when your emotions is not controlled. You understand? And then it's not in a controlled environment. Because remember, if you don't have any male there, there's no order. And a woman can only control but for so long. You understand? Until she's going to need the person that she created life with. Because after a while, the children become curious. And there's boundaries that you can't control. Because that's not your role. A man's role is not the easiest role, brother. Like, we're not the most liked in our role. You know what I mean? You more so like the mom, because mom is more welcoming and she has that motherly, nurturing spirit. Men can be nurturers too, but we don't got the warmy warm because of the frequency of our voice and the tone that we carry and our attribute. The child is usually more scared to come to the father because the father have a more disciplinarian structure. It doesn't mean he doesn't love his children, but he moves off of another vibration. Would you agree?
Yes, I absolutely. That's a fact. And that's, man, listen, I wouldn't want it no other way, because at the end of the day, I know when it's all said and done and when my kids are of age, right? I know that they'll be able to say that my father taught me morals, principles, values, and how to conduct and carry myself. And that's what I'm big on, man. I feel like the society is detaching our youth from that, and it's way dangerous now than how it was when I was growing up, because I grew up in a matriarch system without my father, right? Now, I always go back to imagine if social media was the way it is now. I was coming up in elementary school, all through middle school, when I had my little hot boy tangents. I mean, I want a bad kid, but we all
But I
tested
know.
those
I
waters.
got
You know
it.
what I mean?
I did it.
Yeah, you feel me?
Yeah.
So I can't imagine what the youth that are in that matriarch system now are going through.
It's toxic.
Super toxic.
There's no such thing as a toxic masculinity, and there's no such thing as a toxic femininity. There's no such thing as that. It's just called toxicity. Both parties can be toxic. You understand? But the problem that we're having is identifying the toxicity and owning up to where you're wrong at and finding the core root of the problem.
Shadow work.
You understand? Because it's there. The problem is there. The solution is there too. But the uncomfortable conversation needs to be had because accountability is a part of that. You have to learn these things, and I'm not no perfect person. I had to hold myself accountable for a lot of things that I've done too, just like any other person that's walking this earth should be able to do. That's how you become a lot more wiser and stronger. You know what I mean? So now that I realize, because I was also raised without my father. My biological father didn't raise me, and I didn't really have a long time period with my stepfather. So my understanding on fatherhood came from the streets. It came from seeing some of my uncles in and out. Maybe once in a while I see my uncles here and there, but I didn't really see them like that because I didn't really have a whole bunch of uncles in my family. I had mostly aunts. I had grandmas. I had more women in the family. So it kind of didn't help, but it helped because I had the nurturing portion a little. You know what I mean? Like the love was there. But the ingredients I needed to become an exceptional man and also to an exceptional husband and a father needed a lot of work. And it's normal because it was a social norm in those times, because it wasn't no thing to frown down upon a person that has a child without marriage. I'm a bastard child. I was born out of wedlock. So with that being said, I had to understand each and every single portion of my situation that I came from to understand why I was performing at the rate that I was performing as a 20-year-old and as a 30-year-old and even as a teenager. Now that I'm in my 40s and wisdom is there, which most men just start to develop that in their late 30s into their 40s, you have to go back and replay this in your brain and figure out where was the problem and how can you fix that, because guess what you got that I got as well. We got legacies. And when you have legacies, you got to know that your legacy has already an upper hand than you have. The mother and the father is there. You understand what I'm saying? The mother and father is there. Your son, my son, and many other men that are married, shout out to them. Because guess what? Your child has a head start already. Already. So he's destined to be better than you, just like my son is destined to be better than me as far as going further than I went. They will never be better than you, as in like, I'm better than you now. Not in that sense, meaning that you're laying the foundation and the bridge right now so they can go further than you. They have no reason to not go further than you, right? Right or wrong?
Fact. That's a fact. I want my kids to supersede everything.
Supersede.
Like, I'm talking about, and I know they will, right?
Right.
Because like you said, the structure that they have in place, not only the structure that they have in place, they got a king. And yes, I say that bluntly because that's exactly what I know that I am, and I hold myself to a high standard, right? And that comes with the accountability piece that you was just talking about. And a lot of folks, man, and it's sad because, and I was there, right? So that's why I love just sharing my story. Like, a lot of people don't accept what they see, right? Because they don't like what they see. Now, the first step to getting better, you got to have acceptance. When you have acceptance, then you can do the work that you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Change whatever it is you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And, I relate everything to sports because that's what I did for so long.
Hmm.
You know, if it was a move I wasn't as good at, well, shoot, what am I not doing? What am I doing wrong to help me get better at that? You know what I mean? And that's that accountability, man. And it's so sad that a lot of people don't have it. And some folks think, oh, just because I'm this age or just because I went through these experiences, that makes me wiser than the next person. And that's one thing I've learned on this journey, that not only yourself, but a lot of other brethren that were quite a bit older than me helped me realize that wisdom has no age. You know,
No, it
we
don't.
all,
It don't.
yeah, we all go through this walk of life and have our own experiences. And the way this thing was designed, this here Iowa that we in, it was designed to let me tell my testimony, and maybe something I say can help the next person. And you know, when you, I'm not saying walk around here with your shield off all the time, but as men and what I strive to do on a daily, right? I seek the divine in each and every encounter that I have. And knowing that I'll meet people that's probably not for me, right? But you
Right.
can learn something from everybody. So I'm not gonna sit here and carry myself in a way that I'm tough, you know, not being able to shoot. It's maybe something I can say to help that person that can trigger them to want to do better for themselves. You know, so
Yeah.
that's the space I'm in, man. It helps. And I just hope that more people can kind of get there, man, and just know that it's a different way, because we've been taught this way for so long, man, and we see where it's got us now, where we are.
We're in a bad spot, you know. And like you said, I agree with you. You know, it's everybody gets wisdom at some point in time. Most people get wisdom at some point in time. The real question is when it's going to be bestowed upon you. You know, we all get it, but when you get bestowed is the question. And when does it hit you? And if it hits you, are you willing to accept? Because once you accept, you have wisdom because you understand raw reality.
Hmm.
When you understand raw reality now, you can go ahead and, you know, start really breaking stuff down and seem like you got a lot of wisdom, mainly because you see reality. You know, delusion, like you said earlier, is a problem. And it's a big problem mostly in our community. You know, we have that problem a lot, and we have it with our women. Delusion is a thing. And it's probably one of the main reasons why in today's time you have a high percentage of black women that are single than are supposed to married, and a lot of the brothers are moving outside of the community. And it's not like they're not marrying black women at a good rate. It's just the software in most of our women's minds is corrupted. You understand? And it's been corrupted because of feminism. And this election, shout out to this election, because this election revealed a lot about how people view things and why we are this gender war. Because we are more involved in worrying about Roe v. Wade as far as abortion goes, and women's rights, which is something that they still have and they haven't lost, and they would not lose, because I'm gonna tell you something. When they at this past election, when they were talking about women's rights were being taken away, it's a lie. But it was gonna be taken away if women had voted. If Kamala Harris had won, it would have been taken away because it's easy. It's an easy 1, 2, 3 easy. If you play it, sports is a perfect example of this whole analogy. You understand? My brother, you're built differently than a woman at your same age. You could probably still do a little something as far as running, and will probably, or doing something with some kind of aggressional power, and you probably overpower a woman of your age that's doing the same thing. And the only reason why is because your lung capacity is larger and your body structure is different. And because you have that much testosterone flowing through your body, which women have that too, but they have it in a low dosage, just like we have a low dose of estrogen. we are built to use mostly, our masculinity. We have a whole lot of testosterone. We got to be able to use that in order for the world to go round. Just like women have to use estrogen to make the world go round. But when you have women or trans women in the sport of all real women, that's a big problem, because as much medications and you're taking your affirming care to bring down the levels of testosterone, the problem is you still got the body. Okay,
Physiological structure, brother.
the physiological structure don't change. If it did, you probably would be having babies, right? I mean, I guess if that was really a real thing, but it's not. So there is delusion involved. So when you come into a reality now and you're a woman, there's no way in hell I will be voting for another woman that is going to make that okay for men to come into your space to beat you at something that is for you in your space that you wanted the right to in the first place.
Yeah.
Straight up. Straight up.
Hey, man. I don't get that.
But it leads me to this video I want to show you real quick.
Let's do it.
That is, it makes a whole lot of sense to what we're talking about right here. Like I said, please hit the like, share, subscribe. This is going to be a whole different vibration the next time we come back over here. It's going to be, I'm trying to make this like a full panel, believe it or not. But let's get into this next video right here.
Kingzmen.
Yes, shout out to my guy. His name is Chissa Zed. He's another YouTuber with some dope content. Please go over and check his own too. His content is off the charts, boy. Let's get into it.
The other thing too, of course, we have social media. But I have this video here from Home Math, and it's based on this video this chick made who's like, we don't need men anymore. And that's why it's so hard to find good men. And that is an illusion. Right? Check it out.
Women do not need men to get bank accounts, houses. They have careers on their own.
No, you still rely on men. It's just indirect now. See, men have always been in between women and the real world. That your office job is not real life. Here's another depiction of that. Here's men going out to face danger and build things on the outside in order to create a safe space for women on the inside. This is how it's always been, and it still is. You just don't understand that because you're too comfortable. Men still do all the hard work. If all women stopped working right now, we'd be fine. If all men stopped working, everyone would die. And that is, again, because men make all the food and build all the houses and the walls, and they used to guard the border. I guess they gave up on that. Women have never done that and can't. Men still do all of the necessary things to create the space for you to have your girl bossing fun time.
Right.
The way it works is that women are always really happy for men to do the hard, dangerous work until times are really good, until we build something better than this. And then you look around and you go, hey, men have more than us. No fair. You go to the government, which writes some laws for you, which makes you equal, and then you are disgusted by men who are equal to you. So without equality laws, it's very easy for women to find men they respect, and with equality laws, it's very difficult. And then everyone tells these men that they're worthless. And then they go, okay, well, I don't want to be this guy, so I'll just be this guy. And then they never grow up and they never do anything. And then you hate them even more. So your girl bossing crap is just not going to last very long because women cannot do what men do. You can't do that work of building the physical world. And what you're doing now is just sort of taking it away from men and having it for yourself without giving them anything back, which makes them go away. And then, like, imagine if you had to build a house. It's not going to happen. And then when men go away, then there is nothing in between you.
So let me ask you something, right? Let me ask you something. Be honest with me, okay? I need your honest opinion on this one. Have you ever seen a full construction site of all women?
Nah.
Never? Ever?
No, I haven't.
And you probably never will. You understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
You cannot, because that has always been men doing that. Men build this very world that we live in. Understand? Like, it's almost like we built a world to make it so comfortable for them that they don't even realize the comfort that they're in. You understand? And it's easy to protest against it. It's easy to say, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And I'm pissed off that, we don't have the same equal rights. Let me ask you something. Do you really feel if you built your home from scratch, right? And you're the reason why your home is being protected right now. Do you really believe you're equal to anybody in your home?
No. That's deep.
And the only reason why I'm saying that is because there is a hierarchy involved. This is where structure comes in at, and it's automatic. It's supposed to be automatic in your brain. Immediately understand who you are. That's when men get it and women get it. Like, women, there's women that are out there that exist that understand who they are and what their role is in life, just like there's men that understand who they are and what their role is in life. You understand? It's just they get triggered by words, theatrical words, because women are more emotional. So they tend to be triggered by a word quicker because they can become impulsive behind it because of their emotions. Whereof men have to be more logical because we can become more physical. We watch what we say to each other. We just don't come off at the mouth because we negotiate, because wars can get started. Millions of men could die. You understand? So you have to have strong negotiating skills. And that's not something that most women have. Because when you have a lot of emotions inside of you, you can become impulsive in your words, and certain things you're just going to say. It's not saying that you can't be blunt, but certain words can lead to fights. Certain things you hear a woman say to each other, or a woman would say to a man could never give the woman the same energy she's giving him. Because if he did, it will become a disaster for that woman. She would just have awoken a bear. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different standard that we live by. So when you think about the hierarchy system, understand why that whole concept of what that man just designed right there and explained has always been the truest form throughout time when it comes to men and women in this gender war. We're not at war with the women that we have on the other spectrum of this whole gender divide we got going on in the United States and probably some parts of the world. We're not at war. We just have a concept of a big misunderstanding that there is a war going on outside of us.
Yeah,
and we are being played as pawns in this motherfucking chessboard. So, masculinity has to come back in order for that to happen. And that's the reason why your boy Trump is in office. Masculinity has to make its return. You got to bring back manhood into the country. Because if you don't, just like old boy said from the Poor Man's Podcast, you lose your people. You lose a country. If you emasculate your men, you lose your country. Your country's gone. you understand that, right? Are you aware? Like, that's curtains for us. We have no country. Like, they'll come in and they will just smash and kill. And there ain't no man that got a strong anything in his body because he's full of soy.
Just wanted to say that. Poison everything. And that's another thing, people. Please do a better job of watching what you put in your body. Check the nutrition facts.
Yeah.
because
Check them
9
facts.
times out of 10, it's stuff in there that you can't even read. And this is the app. Shouts out to this app
Oh yeah,
called Yuka.
Yuka.
Yuka. You scan your deodorant to your toothpaste
Yep,
to your daggone underwear. I mean,
that's
it'll tell you
Yuka.
if it has harmful additives, toxic additives in it,
Mm-hmm.
air fresheners, hand soaps, everything. It should be no reason why each and every person should be doing that. Like, we have been gifted this vessel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why not? We take care of Cadillacs and purses and polished shoes, all those things that don't have any significance. Ultimately, let's take care of
Facts.
ourselves a little bit better, man.
Facts. Gotta take care of the body. Gotta take care of the body, man. That's our only vessel. That's our only vehicle. Like we don't got any other ones, you know, not yet at least, until they come out with some cyber something, you know. Because other than that, this is all we have right here. We got to do the best with it. We got to eat healthy and promote more health amongst our neighbors, our brothers, and you know, our sisters, instead of there being a lot of high calorie people around, because that's the problem we have right now, is a lot of high calorie. High calorie.
And that's another
high
reason
calorie.
why a lot of people are so stagnant and stuck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, because
That
we
is.
just we full of stuff. You know, we got to
Yeah.
detox more. We got to drink more water, eat more fruits, eat more veggies, man.
Listen, I'm trying to get back
Trust the
on.
herbs.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to get back on your movements. You know, shout out to you, man. You've been keeping it 100% with the way you take care of your body and mind, as far as the things that you drink and you know, the stuff that you partake and you eat is good. You know, a lot of people around you don't think like that. You know, you'd be surprised. It's not a common thing.
Yeah, man. It's definitely something that it's tough. You know, being around certain people and you want the best for them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like some people don't want the best for themselves. Some people don't know what it looks like.
No.
You know, and you know, I'm a firm believer in the Most High surrounds us with the right people at the right time, but we have to be able to accept that, right? We got to have that awareness to let those people in, man, at those times, and really, I'm not gonna say, you know, you ain't gotta listen to everything a person has to say, but I think every conversation has meaning. It's just up to us to be able to decipher the things that we need, you know, take what you need and leave what you don't
Mm-hmm.
in those conversations, man, and to really, you know, help each other, because that's what this thing is all for, man. You know, one man helping another, you know, and the youth, because if we got a bunch of us doing it, and then we raising our youth to do it, then maybe they can help their friends to do the same, man.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, we've been doing something for so long and it hasn't worked. Why keep banging your head on the same daggone wall if you ain't made no progress, right? Why not turn around and try to use another tool to do it a different way?
Right.
So
Right.
that's where I am, man, and I'm on that frequency of healing. You know, each and every person that I'm involved with, I'm encouraging and doing these things and trying to make sure I do my job.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I agree, man. I feel the same way, bro. You just gotta keep trying to contribute and do the best you can, and trying to make the best of it, you know. But shout outs to these brothers, man, that we were just looking at and, you know, getting some inspiration. There's more things to talk about. This is just the first half of it, but there's more things we're gonna cover. I just wanted to do a part 1 to this gender war, because it's gonna get deeper than this next time around. And I'm thoroughly excited to get this whole thing rolling. You know
going
what I mean?
subatomic, brethren.
Huh?
Next episode going subatomic, huh? We're going quantum.
Yep.
Deep dive.
way down there. But what the abyss? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're gonna do that, King. We're gonna do that. Like I said, please hit the like, share, subscribe, y'all. Bedre, hang around. I'm gonna holler at you. But to everybody else, man, thank you for showing up. Peace. Until next time, blessings.